Have you ever thought, man, that's a masterpiece, but not many people know about it? People should know about this. Well, this series will do just that. I'll explore some things that I find masterpieces, and you might too. Today, we're going to go over a specific animator named TerminalMontage. Up next on Masterpiece Theater. TerminalMontage, also known to people close to him as Jeremy. He is an animator on YouTube, and on this social media platform, he's been there for several years. His most popular is Something About series, where he goes and does his own little flavor on very famous video games, TV shows, movies, things like that, but most specifically, video games. He takes his own little flavor and kind of makes it his own while still connecting to the nostalgia and the memories that many of us have had if we have played video games in the past or continue to play them. What I want to do here at Masterpiece Theater is go over three main reasons why something is a masterpiece. The three main reasons I have that TerminalMontage's work should be considered a masterpiece are the art and music involved with the animation, their creative style and how they do jokes and make their own memes, and then third, a special element that I'll reveal at the end that makes them a masterpiece. The art of TerminalMontage is animated and might to some people seem really simple, but it has its own little quirkiness to it and its own idea of what the image is to a certain person. What's great about this is his own unique style, but it connects with so many different people, millions of people in fact, all over the world. They resonate in a way that helps remind us of some of our child youthfulness, but also about some of the joys and the heartaches of memories we've had with video games or just everyday life. It really connects to each person individually, as if you look through the comments of some of the videos, it connects to people rather personally, which is one of the main goals of an animator, is to have people connect with the same ideas and be able to relate in a positive way. Now, as these are just some of the animations that he has made, there are many, many videos that showcase the talent that they have. Now, to go over specifically, if you look at these are just hand-drawn animations of the single cells that this person draws, TerminalMontage, for their videos. Now, of course, with animation, you have to do millions of rendering. And also, because of this, there's extra stuff that he does in lieu of just the traditional animating that he does. There's this one scene in Star Fox in his Something series where he goes on and does a lot of like the synthwave animation or synthwave music combined with kind of that late 80s, early 90s vibe. And it just kind of transports you back. And me being born in the 80s and living in the 90s as a child, I resonated with that, with first coming out with computers and Super Nintendo, stuff like that. That kind of resonated with me, just made me feel like, oh man, it was a really nice feeling of those emotions, but with the music and the sense of remembering my childhood. It was a really cool moment for me, and probably can do the same thing for a lot of people. TerminalMontage also collaborates with music. As we know, video games, music is really kind of the marriage of the whole thing with the animation and the play. There are two main people he works with, Legend of Renegade and My New Soundtrack. I highly recommend both those channels as well, because some of the music they use really kind of brings the nostalgia, but just a new sense of, I guess, arrangement that just brings you more enveloped in the music you already love if you've played video games in the past. Now, number two, let's get to the humor. Now, if you watch any TerminalMontage video, you'll want to wait till the end, because after the credits, he thanks his Patreons and everything that support his channel. He does a little excerpt of extra animation. Sometimes it has to do with maybe a continuing video that will happen, or just like a funny little part, or with TerminalMontage, actually has his own little universe that he's created through games that makes its own story, which can continue, which is really entertaining. But there's a lot of humor at the end of those videos. Some clips I have that I want to share, you'll definitely have to watch on your own. I've taken out the audio so you can be able to watch it and experience on your own for the first time. So I'll try my best at acting it out, and hopefully you don't take this as what it actually is, because I highly recommend watching the videos. So some of the jokes include just kind of the idiocy that comes with video games sometimes when you play, such as Star Fox. In the first mission when you play Star Fox 64, you're supposed to be saving this planet, but as you go through, buildings are crashing, you're shooting through buildings, you're blowing up bombs. It shows kind of that chaos of like, hey, thank you for saving us, but you're blowing up everything around you. It's kind of that like, yeah, I get that I'm saving him, but I'm also blowing him up. But in a video game, you're just like, I'm gonna play the game. So it gives that sense of ha ha ha. Later in that video as well, there's a scene where they face a boss who ends up being an alligator. And instead of doing the full intro of the person they're facing, he just puts, I'm an alligator, which is funny because it's just straight to the point. It's like, yeah, he's an alligator. It's funny at that point. One thing also that I really enjoy about TerminalMontage with some of the humor is Kirby, but he calls Kerbo, is one of his main characters that he does animations for. And also Kirby is my favorite video game character, because that is the first game I ever played as a kid, was Kirby's Adventure on the Game Boy. And so some of the stuff that Kirby has just really show a lot of the humor that goes in it. One is where when he does on Kirby's Dreamland, the first game, he talks about how Kirby is God's favorite creation, which is hilarious because most people I know love Kirby and don't hate Kirby, so that makes sense to me. Also, in the Mega Man X something video, he talks about how Mega Man is a little boy compared to Zero, the guy that is working with him, and he basically goes to prove himself that he is a big boy and he's a Mega Man now. And as you see some of these clips, you'll see, I'm a Mega Man now. With the change of animation is actually really cool. It goes from the regular animation he's doing to like that hyper realistic face is just super fun to watch. And just seeing the transition of behavior, like I can help, I'm a big boy, I'm a Mega Man now, shows the progression in one video with the animation. It's just the humor and the animation, as I said, masterpiece. Now, as part of the humor, there's also that part of connecting with the audience. And one way he connects with his audience is going over the frustration of playing some video games, as many of you are probably aware of. Now, one of those frustrations he does in one of his first few videos when he first started his channel, where he does a video of him going into the dark rock tunnel cave from Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. That idea that you go in there without the flash HM, just going through the dark, not know what's going on. You go in there, you see a Geodude, you're like, oh man, I don't think I'm ready for this. And then of course, there's all those Zubats. The Zubats are the absolute worst. And this video just illustrates like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of running into these Zubats. I don't want to deal with Zubats. I'm not gonna have a Zubat on my team. Leave me alone. Just, that hit me so good because I really related to that. But I actually never went in the cave without Flash, so I never had that full experience, but I can get it. Also, on his video with Yoshi's Island, that scene where you have to go through all the different monkeys in Yoshi's Island, they're just spitting watermelon seeds at you, and every time it hits Mario, he starts whining, you're like, please stop shooting these watermelon seeds at me. But then you saw that watermelon, you ate it, and I love in his video, it just turns into a heavy machine gun and knocks out all the monkeys. To me, you would just shoot those, knock out the monkeys, and then eat them so they would be done. Mario wouldn't cry, and you could get through that level. That was hilarious. Also, I really liked how in Smash Brothers in Melee or 64, he brought up how unfair, if you didn't really know how to play Smash Brothers, being Fox was. So fast, all the counterings just getting in your face and being really, really annoying. I loved Fox for that reason, but later as I played, it also made me really frustrated because I was tired of Fox just zipping all over the map. That frustration, completely valid. Now also, speaking of Star Fox again, that little scene where it just shows you smashing a bunch to skip the monologues of the people trying to tell you the missions, 100% agree. That's still the case here in video games now, of you having to smash through that button to be like, please stop the monologues. Now there's some that skip things now, but the realization of doing that is very clear and very relevant. Finally, with the humor part of the masterpiece, talking about the memes and inserting pop culture that really resonates with the people that watch it. One of the first ones is Yoshi's Island, as the red Yoshi is going through that very fun level of big puffballs that kind of knock you out and make you wobble back and forth, if you know what I mean. It goes through and it shows that he's like passed out. The blue Yoshi comes in, smacks him to kind of get him awake, and then he does the whole Michael Jordan meme of, stop it, get some help, and just picks up Mario. It's like, oh, that's solid. I love that meme, and that they use that for Yoshi and that level specifically, and how I love it. Hilarious. Some of the memes are more subtle. If you go to Star Fox 64, where it goes over the mission where you use the Landmaster and there's that train you have to stop, he does it ever so slightly where you just see the tank going and the music starts to get louder, and then the train hits you, and then the music is just super loud of Thomas the Train. Da 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 da. And I watched that as a kid, and the memes about Thomas the Train Engine and people that use mods for Thomas the Tank Engine in video games, I just think just brings everything in. So I thought that was a very good meme to bring into the video. Of course, nothing says meme like Baby Shark, and in one of the Kirby videos, they're searching in the water for Kirby in the Mirror World, and Baby Shark comes in, but it's more like the shark from The Little Mermaid that comes in and is trying to eat Ariel and Flounder. It's like that movement where the shark's like, Baby Shark, and like trying to take out the Kirbys, and absolutely hilarious. The last meme is actually one that he ended up making and has become famous because he just made it and it was very famous. So there's a video where Mario, as part of the longer story that he has made on his own, the Subspace Emissary series, Mario is a speedrunner and he's gaining power because he speedruns. And since in video games, especially speedrunning is very popular, that Mario has gained this power to go through and clip through walls and stuff like that. It has speedrunner Mario versus Fox. And in part of the fight, Mario talks about how fast he is. He says, I'm 4 parallel universes ahead of you, Fox. And talks about that's why he can defeat Fox. And so that ended up becoming a meme that was used when people are well more aware of someone else for something, or someone are making decisions before someone thinks it. They would use that clip saying they're 4 parallel universes ahead of someone. And that meme has just been resonating for years and years now. Now, number 3, the special part that makes this thing a true masterpiece. Now, TerminalMontage has a specific thing with Kirby that is kind of unusual for most people. He's made Kirby not just a lovable pink character, but like a missionary for God as a Christian. Now, he does this not to offend anybody, but just as part of like a funny thing that has to do with the universe he's made. And so you'll see throughout videos, Kirby will be like, use a cross to like defeat an enemy, or, you know, knock on doors and say like he's there to talk about Jesus Christ. All that kind of, you know, typical stuff that people expect from people that are a Christian and go and want to share their religion. What's funny is that he totally is in on this, and he acknowledges himself that he's a Christian, and he involves it as part of the story and the animation he does, not to offend anybody. But of course, we know the internet, and we know people will think, oh, this is boring, this is lame, or I'm offended. Well, in one of his Kirby videos, he addresses this in the most hilarious way possible, which really shows that uniqueness that this person has that makes their own stuff a masterpiece. So, in the game Kirby's Mirror World, the final villain is Dark Matter. Now, when they get there, Dark Matter's like, hey, I finally met you, Kirby. One of the things he says, and this is one of my favorite jokes, is the internet is tired of your chromosomes. Absolutely brilliant. And what he does is he pulls out a YouTube comment from the mirror, literally put in a YouTube comment, and he pulls it up. It's basically a guy saying like, hey, the Christian Kirby thing has gotten more unfunny, maybe we should reduce it so we can just enjoy Kirby. And instead of like going, yeah, you're right, I'll tone it down, he literally has Kirby quote something from Psalms from the Bible, and then basically uses it to summon the power to defeat Dark Matter with crosses and with Jesus Christ. I find that very interesting because I myself am religious, and I know I don't want to put my religious views on anyone, but I thought it was interesting that he took the stand that like, this is what I want to do for my character, and he didn't do it for any ill will to that comment or any other comments that have probably said about they don't like the thing that where he goes direction with Kirby. But that's just his own design and what makes it unique, and I just think that really hits with a certain population, whether you be Christian or not, have religion or not. I still think it shows that his own personality is shown in this because of things like that, and what makes it really compelling and honest and shows integrity, which is kind of hard to find when you're looking for entertainment. Overall, TerminalMontage's videos are an absolute masterpiece. They not only have great artwork and music involved with other social media creators, they have funny humor that doesn't go over the top. They have a lot of connections with pop culture, but also relevant to connecting with the audience, knowing who they're trying to connect with. And there's even a whole series he does that goes over the whole COPPA thing, where you can't do certain advertising and certain things based on that act. And there's some of those that are pretty good as well, that get more real about kind of the world we're in when it comes to sharing things with each other when it comes to our ideas. But overall, TerminalMontage does an amazing job at relating to others and sharing part of themselves while being true to themselves. And that's really hard to do. And that itself would make it a masterpiece alone. So this I share with you, the work of TerminalMontage is an absolute masterpiece. Hey, I hope you liked this video. I hope to do more masterpiece theaters on many different things, not just YouTube or animation, but just all sorts of random stuff. As I said, totally check out TerminalMontage. The channel is amazing. There's so many different things that you can like. Thank you all for watching, and find your own masterpieces.